Don't use that one.
Did y'all? Okay. Did y'all see the Piers Morgan and Andrew Tate?
I did not see the whole thing. I just saw like a clip.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see
Okay.
that.
It was a full video, like an hour, and
The interview is it an interview?
yeah,
Was it an hour? That was
Piers
like
Morgan,
honestly, hour.
Oh.
from Piers Morgan, from just seeing clips of him, seems like an ultra simp type dude.
I could see that. I could definitely.
I
see
haven't
that.
watched the full broadcast, so I don't want to say, but he just seems like the type of dude that is always against the narrative that I would be for. Like, whenever he interviews people, it seems like he's always on the wrong side of the interview.
Yeah, the thing is when he does a lot of interviews, he typically talks over his guests, and that becomes really annoying. Actually, it showed up right here on your little feed. Like
Just pop right up. That's me.
My feed? What you doing in my feed, man?
All right.
That I would agree with. You're right. I think it's certainly an overused term.
But you don't accept the research as clinical depression.
No, I don't.
And that to me is a damaging view.
Okay, well, let me explain mine. If someone comes to me and says I'm clinically depressed or I feel very, very sad, I would say the first thing you need to do is stop accepting the identity of a clinically depressed person. Stop accepting you have no control over this. And what you need to do is stop identifying that way, and let's work together to try and fight against
There
it.
isn't an eminent doctor in the world who would tell you there is no such thing as clinical
I think
depression. Who
Johan,
would not tell you
I
that
think,
some people
I think
is
Johan,
simply beyond
I think
their
Johan
control.
Hari wrote a book saying exactly that, my friend.
He's not an eminent doctor.
No, but
He's
I
a journalist.
said depression wasn't real long ago, was attacked for it. Then Johan Hari wrote a book, which
What's it got to do
actually,
with Johan Hari?
because he wrote a book proving me right. Most people,
Johan Hari's a journalist.
sure. And my point is that a lot of people who are clinically depressed are suffering with something in their life, and if you fix the problem in their life, perhaps they won't feel depressed anymore. That's not a disease.
Yeah, but Andrew,
That's situational.
Andrew, you're simply wrong.
If that's what you believe, Piers,
That's
it's
what I
fine.
believe.
I don't believe in things that take power away.
There is not an eminent doctor in the world.
Piers,
Would agree with you.
Piers,
I think you know more than doctors.
I can't become clinically depressed
Why do you know?
because I don't believe in it. I can't be haunted by a ghost if I don't believe in ghosts.
Well, that's like saying I'm never going to die because I don't believe in it. It's ridiculous.
Perhaps, but it allows me to live a life where I feel happy and
But here's where
content
you
with
see
myself.
again. This is that little area where you lose me.
No, I don't lose you.
You're right,
because
because
Piers,
somebody with your following
the
says
thousands of people who have emailed me saying my doctor told me I was clinically depressed and it's a disease that I have got in my brain and I can't be fixed. And I started listening to you and I realized that that's not the case and I can fix my own life and you're the only person who has ever helped me. Thousands of people have emailed me that exact email.
If you think you are single-handedly curing people of clinical depression, you are living in cloud cuckoo.
I am reading
Cloud
emails of people
cuckoo
who I have
land.
clinical depression.
You're reading emails from people who have believed you when you say there isn't such a thing, and they've probably never been diagnosed clinical depression. They just want to go along with what Andrew Tate says.
I don't think so.
And I think your view of that is dangerous.
I respect that you think my view is dangerous, and I respect you have the right to think that. I think that clinical depression, I actually agree with you, is massively overdiagnosed. I've already said that PTSD is a very real thing. I've already said
I didn't. No, hang on.
Okay.
Again, you're misquoting me. I did not say clinical depression is massively overdiagnosed. I said that people who take
You see his face?
To me and many others, my friend.
Well, look, what do you want to see?
Top G.
You're not a doctor, are you not trained, are you?
I'm not a
You're not a
doctor.
psychiatrist.
He keeps talking about being trained. You're not a doctor.
You're not a doctor. What do you know?
Much of which I agree with, as you
Feeling depressed is real. I do not believe it's a disease that you catch from the sky and you cannot affect. I believe that no matter what happens, I believe you have control of your own mind and you can fight against it. I believe if you change your circumstances in your life, you may feel different. I'll give you a quick example. The doctor was telling him he was clinically depressed and couldn't cure it. He started taking control of his own life, and now he felt better.
Have you
Now,
seen
I'm not saying it's the case for everybody.
No.
I'm just saying.
my question.
I'm
Have you
just
seen the guy's medical record?
no,
You see how he just won't listen or just.
medication specifically.
You're denying proven science because one guy writes to you who you help, and you've not seen any evidence he ever had clinical depression diagnosed.
I'm denying the idea that
And on the back of it, you go on your rants in public to tens of millions of people.
His poise is unparalleled.
Oh my
Right.
Guy
That's
is-
what I'm saying. Andrew Tate has so much patience.
That's fine. That's where you don't have a responsible view of your influence over
disagree. It's very responsible because I'm saving people's lives. So sitting there saying I don't believe in clinical depression, you don't believe in depression. No, I don't. I believe that people can take control and fight against things. I believe in personal sovereignty.
Right. Fine.
Good. So we agree.
No, we don't.
Here's you're on my side. You're afraid of being canceled along with.
I mean, it's been icky, but that's
Yeah,
basically
clearly.
the gist of it.
Yeah, Pierce is very rude. I think that I don't know if he's a professional journalist. I don't know his background. I don't know his platform. They present like it's like a professional station that they have, or
Oh, that's not like
program.
Fox or something?
No, I think that's his own little.
Oh, because
Like
it
the
definitely
Young
presents
Turks.
very
Right.
well.
Which is fine. You could do that nowadays. You don't have to be Fox. So with that being said, clearly he sucks at interviewing people. It's clear that he doesn't come on neutral ground, which is fine. I mean, people can't really do that anyway. You're gonna have your opinion.
Yeah.
But asking a question and then not allowing your interviewee to respond is just the most annoying thing in the world. Cutting them off, it's like, bro, this is what we deal with women at mass.
Yeah.
Women seem to not be able to. Not all women. This is not an attack on women. Golly, man. I'm just saying, when you interact with women more often than interacting with men, they will cut you off without even thinking about it. Happens all the time. So you're doing that, and then you're insinuating things. I thought it was very sneaky. He would insinuate things, but he didn't actually say it. So then when Andrew
Picked up on the insinuation.
and talked about the insinuation.
You're
He's like, I
misquoting
never
me.
said that. You're misquoting me.
Right.
It was clearly just like, this is a mind game. You're just here to make him look bad. I don't like disingenuous conversations.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was just like, huh. I mean, throughout this conversation, there's many different things, but I felt like depression was an interesting topic that I saw. So that's why I kind of wanted to highlight that particular point, because he was primarily focused on Piers Morgan. He was primarily focused on the society or the medicine aspect, or if it's not diagnosed, it has to be if it's diagnosed by a doctor. So this is something that's absolutely real. It's clinical depression. You've went to a doctor and you've been diagnosed for it, and your doctor's not giving you any solutions. So if you deal with someone, or if you deal with a doctor who's not providing you solutions, and then you find someone who's supposed to be this misogynistic bad guy, and he's providing help for men, multiple men, thousands of men, and it goes against the clinical diaspora, and it's giving you a more natural solution. I'm just like, why would you not just listen to that instead of try to fight him on that and just accept that and say, yes, this is right, this is good, instead of just saying, well, maybe he's making up. Did you get their medical records? Like, you don't need medical records to determine how someone feels. Like, if I'm feeling sad, I don't need to go to the doctor and be like, yo, man, figure out what the fuck wrong with me. I got a rain cloud over my head all day. You know what I mean? Every symptom that you probably look up is giving you depression. And if a doctor doesn't diagnose that or whatever, doesn't make it official, nigga, you know how you feel, And so I thought being able to talk to people and solve their solutions and actually hold the person who's feeling that depression accountable.
Yeah.
Allow them to feel accountable and take control of it versus making them feel like there's nothing I can do but take these pills and take this medicine that's not going to do anything but make me feel crappier and worse, man. So I thought that was sucky by Piers Morgan, I thought the dialect was interesting, and like the battle, like the war of words, I thought that was interesting. But Andrew Tate gave him that L, man. He threw up that dub.
Yeah, Andrew definitely gave him an L, and it was Andrew said a couple really good things, and as Chris stated, his number one, his poise is unmatched.
Immaculate.
To be able to sit there and to maintain that professionalism. He was more professional than Pierce. And he was very clear about his message. There was nothing. There was no room for speculation, right? So there was a couple things that he mentioned, right? He was speaking about basically ancient medicine, and our Western medicine is new. The definition for depression was not initially or actually a thing. It was no real diagnosis to the 1930s, right? So we're talking about. So what Andrew was basically saying is that the diagnosis is going to come from your emotions, right? Basically saying not being able to deal with certain things. You know, gave the example of the man who his girlfriend broke up with him, and he was actually clinically depressed. He was on medication, he saw a psychiatrist, and he was suicidal, right? That clinical depression. But what Andrew said was that clinical depression or regular depression, or whatever you want to call it, is going to stem from an event or an activity or a level of trauma. And if you deal with that, then you can then beat the diagnosis. Right. And Pierce was basically saying, no, you're basically gonna have to go to a doctor. You're gonna have to get medicine, and almost like what we did with Chris with diabetes, you're stuck with it for life. You're basically just gonna treat symptoms for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but that's it. Yeah.
Right, which is not true. We've walked people through that process, and we've had people reverse diabetes, which have been told you're gonna have this for the rest of your life. So he gave a practical solution to the gentleman, and he said, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what else to tell you. You've been to a psychiatrist. This is what they do. Here's what I can tell you. Go to the gym, get a six-pack, right, and then come back and see me. Which we know that, and Stephen doesn't have a six-pack, but I know the work that goes into that, right? You're going to have to change your diet. You're going to have to start being committed. You're going to have to start practicing consistency. And these things are going to help you just inherently get over the X.
Yeah.
It will rebuild the confidence of that young man, and it will then change his emotional state, which will allow him to get over the depression. So I thought that was amazing. Yeah. And honestly, I never watched that video, but I learned from that, which Pierce taught me nothing.
Oh yeah,
in that video.
Yeah,
but
he's
Andrew,
kind of a bumbling idiot.
Yeah, I mean, that was amazing.
I mean, like I said, I have an opinion about him based off a clip, so I'm willing to listen to more.
Yeah, that entire interview.
It was the same way.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like when that. See, here's the thing, Kristen, you have so much experience as an interviewer, and then us just being able to have conversation, and as a man, right, who has a level of emotional intelligence, you don't always have to be right. And Pierce, basically, when Andrew laid that out, he didn't even acknowledge the good thing that happened. Yeah. Oh, well, maybe that was just one situation. Like, bro, clearly this is what Andrew does. He gives this advice to multiple people, and it works. There's a reason he gives the advice.
Right.
So he didn't even acknowledge, wow, that's really good. I never thought about that. Right. I never even considered that could be an option, right? That's something that people can use moving forward. But he didn't even acknowledge it. Well, did you see his medical records? Like, oh.
And the thing that was frustrating to me is, like, let's just assume that this is a spectrum, because I mean that's essentially what we're talking about.
Right.
There's depression, and then there's clinical depression, and then there's stuff in between. Even if he has the ability to aid people who aren't clinically depressed, right? They think they are, or they're as close to clinically depressed as possible without being clinically depressed. That's still great work. Now, I think the definition of clinical depression, it talks about a mental disorder. Now,
yeah.
So I wanted to clear this up because I understand why Pierce was being so adamant. Mental health disorder characterized by persistently depressed moods or loss of interest in activities causing significant impairment in daily life. And then it says possible causes. They don't know. But when it comes to mental disorders, for example, bulimia or, something of that nature, people think that it's a physical thing, but it's a mental thing. Right. So that's important. What I will say is the chemistry of your body 100% affects your mental. The health of your gut 100% affects your mental. These are all things that could be considered diseases.
Right.
So it's not just as simple as saying, oh, it's just a situation that happened. It's not that simple. So I'll give him that. I'll give Pierce that. However, what Andrew Tate is teaching actually will, if he tells the dude, go get a six-pack, Steve just said, okay, you're going to have to change your diet. You're going to have to change what you consume, not just physically, but also, TV. That's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
You don't got time to be just
a level
effing
of
around,
discipline you
right?
have.
Yeah.
And so those things that will get you to that six-pack will probably do that work that you need to do to clean up your body, and then that will also alter your mental as well. And I think Andrew Tate is super honest when he's like, I don't know how it works or why it works. It just does. And that's fine.
You don't have to know.
You don't have to.
As long as you have the solution and it works out somehow, hey man. As long as you ain't hurting nobody or yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the proper solution. But yeah, definitely check out that entire interview because they're not just talking about that. They're talking about a whole bunch of stuff. And Andrew, he owns them and has a level of patience that I was just sitting at looking at the screen like, hey, man, if you don't swing on him, like I can see you, it's okay, man. Swing on him, man.
You know what? Also, last thing, but what I really liked about Andrew in that video is he didn't have his sunglasses on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because Andrew, and as we have stated on YouTube and other platforms, he plays a character, right? He's not just this da-da-da-da, right? He's really intelligent. And he comes, if Andrew came as YouTube Andrew, this interview would have been very different.
Right.
Piers probably would have made him look really dumb, right? But he did not. He came as Andrew Tate, the man, no sunglasses. I'm here for a serious interview, and
He took it very seriously.
yeah, and it showed, and I loved that.
Yeah.